so I met up with her, and I told her I wanted to make a film, and she was happy about it, and she accepted my offer, so that she was my mentor. And there was one problem, really. I need to make a film. You need a lot of people. You need a crew, really, and everyone makes has their individual role. And all I had at that point was myself, and I needed a cameraman, I needed a sound guy, I needed an editor, and I mean, I myself was doing two parts at a time. I knew I was gonna direct it, write the film, and I knew I wanted to act in it. My dream. So I really had known, but she didn't. My mentor, she accepted that, and she said, okay, what I want you to do is I want you to have a storyline. So we were both going on vacation. It was summer, so I was going to Turkey, and she asked me, come back with a storyline. So I did. I went to Turkey, and I went through many different storylines and stories that I talked with my parents about them. They helped me, and I told them about this idea of the lower self, this idea of freedom that I wanted to use, and so I came back with the storyline, and I showed it to Letitia, and we edited it together. We really formed it. She added things, she omitted things, and began to see this process of forming of a storyline. So once you have the storyline, that's just the beginning, and that took a while. You have to divide the storyline into scenes. I'm going to go through the ideal sequence that a professional would go through. However, Leander and I couldn't. We kind of went back and forth. We did some filming, then we did some editing. Then we were everywhere, unprofessionally, but it worked out. The next step would be to divide the storyline into scenes and to form scenes. I had the storyline in my head. It was fun to kind of watch the movie in my head and stuff like that. But then you really had to get down to business and cut everything into scenes. And so I did that. And then after that was done, I had to begin to write all the dialogue that was in the film, all the words. And Letitia really helped me with that. The conversation with myself in the woods. And we went over that, and I wrote it. And finally, she cut things out that weren't supposed to be there, and edited things. And then that was complete. And then I had to kind of really bring everything, what I saw on paper. So I had to draw a storyboard. We were going to show images, but I guess we didn't have time, or the lack of will, I guess, is the better way to put it. But yeah, so storyboard is kind of little images that you kind of the director would sketch, so that everyone else could see his perspective on the film or on the storyline. And so I began drawing those, really tedious, many little pictures over and over. And then once that's done, finally, you can begin filming. And that's where Leander comes in. Not only was he my cameraman, he was my editor, he was my sound guy, he was a great friend through the whole thing, and he helped me with ideas, and that was awesome. So once you film everything, you have the footage, right? You have all the footage, but then you have to edit the footage. You have to put it together. It's kind of like a puzzle. I have to take out pieces that all right. And plus, we did film everything about twice, in case something went wrong. So it's so much footage, and then the poor guy had to do all the editing himself while I sat at home. I came over sometimes. But cutting all these pieces and putting them together, and then, as if that was not enough, we had to do everything over the sound. We did the audio again because the mic on the camera wasn't the best mic, so we did everything over. Like it was like a deja vu with a microphone. Just from the sounds of me breathing to the sounds of me picking up something, moving the cigarette pack around, or lighting the cigarette, or even the sink, the sound of the room we're in. It was really tedious, but we went through that, and then after that you have to line the audio up with the footage. You have to get the words right with the movement of the mouth, and everything has to line perfectly with the footage, all the audio. And then, by the way, I want to thank Caleb Bell for, you heard the music when I in the woods when I meet myself, right before I meet my lower self in the forest, and that was Kayla. Yeah, so once the audio is done, we have to, edit it put it together with all the filming and all the footage. And once the sound is complete, you can do a final editing. You could edit everything, and that's what we did. All the little pieces that were cut out, sounds, some sounds were too loud. We had the problem where, all the little sounds we added were just so loud. So the opening of the door was just like a huge bang. It was just like, we had to, fix everything, going over the movie like 100 times. And once that is complete, you can, you could add the credits and the title, which we were going to do. Then, we thought about it, and I realized that, maybe it doesn't have to happen. Maybe it doesn't have to. Initially we had the title that was going to be I am I. One of the lines the lower self says while he's, talking to, I guess, his soul, if you will. He says I am I, and I thought, that would be a nice title. But, in the end, I realized that it didn't need one, and we were going to add credits, but I told myself I would memorize all these thank yous, so that's what I'm going to do. First off,